Hey everyone, Hallie here. Today I thought it'd be fun to talk about what I would like to see within a Battlefront 3. Now, with the recent resurgence within Battlefront 2, a game I absolutely loved when I was younger, it's very cool to see this game back and poppin'. So, I thought it'd be fun to talk about what I'd like to see within a Battlefront 3. Now, keep in mind, Battlefront 3 isn't confirmed at all, and most likely we won't even see it. But if we do see it, these are some things that I would love to see within, just Battlefront 3. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, what I'd like to start off with is some of the gameplay mechanics. One of the main things I really enjoy from Battlefront 2 is the battle point system. I think it is very rewarding, although I do think it can certainly be tweaked to make it a little bit more enjoyable. What do I mean by that? Well, I think on modes like Galactic Assault, oftentimes you'll find that every single person is playing a hero and you can't play anyone unless it's one of the, like a rocket jumper that no one really wants to play. I think it'd be interesting if they kept the battle point system, but just expanded on the types of characters that we can play. I think it's good that we have characters that are like 2,000 points, like a rocket trooper, like a commando trooper, something like that. I think it's fun to have characters that aren't on the level of Darth Vader, but aren't as boring as just playing as a normal stormtrooper, if that makes sense. I just would like to see the battle point system expanded, I suppose, is the best way to put it. But besides that, keep what works is going to be my main takeaway for Battlefront 2. Keep the battle point system. I would say remove the whole loot box mechanic. I just don't really think it works well. I honestly think that something like what we have right now with the skill cards is a really interesting system, as it gives players a unique build diversity. And to be quite honest, I don't know if I've seen a star card system or really anything similar to it in other multiplayer games. So just due to how unique it is, and honestly the fact that it works well within Battlefront 2, I think that they should keep the star card system. I know that might be a little controversial, but I really like the idea of limiting players to some amount of perks, and then those perks greatly change how you play. Like, I love the fact that with the star card system, you can replace certain abilities that you don't like. So if you're playing like the assault class and you don't want the recon tracker dart, you can replace it with something else. So I would love to see something like that within Battlefront 3. I just love the customization and the limited choices. Although it's limited choices, it makes you think about the choices that you're making with your class. So star card system, I think, should return just because I love how unique it is. However, on the topic of progression, I would like to see more long-term unlocks, and honestly just more unlocks in general. Currently within Battlefront 2, you can only unlock 4 different weapons for each class. I think it'd be really cool if they added more weapons and just streamlined the mechanics. Maybe you could put attachments on your weapon. I'm really not too sure how they would do it. I do think there is something to be said about the simplicity of just picking a weapon and there just being 4 weapons. However, I personally just think that if there is a Battlefront 3, there should be more customization options and more things to grind for. I think it'd be really cool if we saw weapon skins introduced into Battlefront 3. Imagine if you get like 100 headshots with some sort of blaster and then you unlock like a gold camo for it. I feel like that would be super cool and would just be a nice little way to entice players to just play a little bit longer. One thing that's personally important for me, and this might be a little bit of an unpopular opinion, but I want to see all of the Star Wars eras included within this game. And yes, that includes the sequels. I think it's really cool to have stories take place in different locations, and some of the locations that the sequel era trilogy brought are pretty interesting. So even though I'm not a huge fan of those movies, especially as I've gotten older, I personally think it'd be great to see the sequel era, the original trilogy, as well as the prequels. And this might be a little bit crazy, but even going farther back would be cool, like the Old Republic era. I'm not sure how they would do it, but I think something like that would be really cool. But even if they don't, the 3 main eras that we currently have that all of the movies cover, I think would be great. However, on top of this, I would like to mention we should see places like Rogue One. I haven't watched Andor myself. I've heard it's really good, but I love the Rogue One movie. So, Seraph, I believe the map is called, would be great to see. So just, inclusions like that would be really cool. It'd also be neat if we saw things from games like the Jedi Survivor games or the Jedi Fallen Order. Stuff like that I think would be really interesting. Now, this is something that I think is very interesting. I've noticed this just because of, how many parallels Battlefront has to Battlefield. I think it'd be really cool if Battlefront had destruction similar to Battlefield. Within Battlefield, at least some of the older games like Battlefield Bad Company 2, you can destroy, like the entirety of a building and then just walk through it. In the new Battlefield game that they're developing, they're going back to this sort of destruction where you can tear down the faces of buildings and the dynamic nature of what that does, because now we've progressed so far in technology where they can like have procedural destruction, and just the way that works, it looks so beautiful. I don't think I can include it because I'm pretty sure it's all leaked. But if we were to see something like that within Battlefront, I think that would be so cool. Even something like, this is just what I think of personally, something like Hoth or Jakku, where you're playing in like sand dunes or snow dunes, and seeing this the dune like react to bullets would be really cool. Maybe it gets shot by a walker and then the top of the dune kind of dips down a little bit. I feel like something like that would be really cool to see within a Battlefront game, and it's also realistic just to how sand dunes and dunes in general work in real life. I think it'd be really cool if we saw just destruction mechanics. And that's just me talking about dunes. We can apply this to buildings or even like starships. There's really so much they could do. And I just think seeing destruction within Battlefront would be really cool, because even in Battlefront 2, things are mostly static. Like if you shoot something, it might, tumble around, but it's not changing the gameplay and it's not changing anything major like that. But I just think destruction would be really cool. And on top of that, weather mechanics, have a sandstorm come in. We kind of have that within Battlefront 2 currently, but what if, that sandstorm could then chip away at parts of a building? I just think that'd be really cool. And I would love to see some sort of destruction mechanic implemented into a Battlefront 3. Another thing I love about Battlefront 2 is the diversity of the game modes, and I think we should just keep that going. Keep Supremacy, the capture the flag conquest mode if you're familiar with Battlefield. Keep Galactic Assault, the more standardized, special objective on a map where, like, if you're on Hoth, you're escorting walkers. If you're on Naboo, you're killing people, whatever. Point being, I really enjoy the diverse game modes within Battlefront 2 currently, and I think they should keep that going. Even game modes like Ewok Hunt, where it's kind of just a gimmick game mode. It is literally a gimmick game mode, but it's fun. It's fun to mix it up. So I think all of the game modes they have currently should be included, and then just add more. I think the game modes they have currently are great. It's just I would like to see more maps. Absolute must-have for a Battlefront game is also going to be custom games or some sort of custom lobby feature. This is a go-to, and I don't feel like I really need to explain. It's just a staple of the Battlefront games, being able to set up whatever map, whatever game mode you want to do, play whatever character you want to play. It's an absolute necessity. So some sort of custom game support, of course, is going to be required. It should be fully fledged out day one. And I was also thinking, maybe what if you could use custom games to progress? I'm sure that will be exploited somehow, just because people always seem to find a way to do that whenever these types of systems are implemented into games. But I think it'd be really cool to just show love to the custom game option, just given that really helped create an identity for Battlefront, and the custom games are so fun. I'll be honest, it is a staple of Battlefront. So with all that being said, I just wanted to make a quick video today about what I would like to see within a Battlefront 3. Let me know what you all thought of some of my wish list down in the comments below. Would you like to see a Battlefront 3? Do you think it will happen? Let me know down in the comments below. And before I go, I would like to give a very special thank you to my YouTube members, Ash Treedweller. Wow, that was a voice crack. But you know what? It makes it even more special. So very special thank you to my YouTube members. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry I haven't been posting too frequently. I've just been in a transition period between school as well as just starting the summer. I'm still uploading, just not as frequently as I usually do. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching to the very end of this video. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like, as I said 3 times already. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.